You're here, and in today's video I want to break down UFC Fight Night, Royval versus Kape. And what I want to do starting on is really try and take the contrarian take, really looking at how my picks could lose and maybe make changes on the spot if I see so. Last card was I wasn't profitable. I lost maybe a unit and a half. I wasn't profitable mostly because Royval shit the bed and Pantoja got injured, and that was like my main bet. I did make some good reads on, especially on Manuel Torres, and I wish I went more aggressive on him because I saw that knockout coming. And also with Duncan, which his line moved. I didn't have any bet on him, but when the line moved for Duncan, I had to put some money on him. But anyway, the most important part is I haven't lost a lot, and a new card is coming. So let's start with the breakdown. So I want to talk about the first fight. It's not the first fight, but I really don't care about these two fights, and I don't really know the fighters. So I'm gonna start with Melissa Croden and Luana Santos. So we got here a fight between a striker and a grappler. We know that Melissa Croden is a very dangerous striker, very aggressive. We saw her debut in her last fight. She won by knockout. And actually, they both fought the same opponent. Only Santos submitted the opponent in comparison to Croden knocking out her opponent. And I wanna pick Croden. The reason I wanna pick Croden is because she's the underdog, and I think that the value is on her. The question here would be, how is she going to handle, right? How is she going to handle the grappling threat of Santos? And Santos has really good grappling and good control. And honestly, if I go and look at both of their fights against the same girl, I think that Santos was more, I'd say she was more dominant, just because she kind of forced her game against Tainara Lisboa, and she won both rounds, and the second round she just submitted her. But I think that Croden she's more physical, she's much bigger, and I think that she can actually be more defensive when it comes to takedowns, right? I think that she can stuff the takedowns and potentially win on the feet. But that's the question. Will she be able to stuff the takedowns? I don't know. Like, if we go here and we look at what really happened, we can definitely see that she got taken down. And if you're getting taken down by Lisboa, you're gonna get taken down by Santos, right? So that alone kinda makes me not probably wanting to take the risk of betting on a girl that got taken down 2 times by the same girl who was dominated completely by Lisboa. So did dominate Lisboa completely using her grappling. So when I look at everything, it might be a good live bet opportunity. Obviously, I believe Croden is going to work on her takedown defense, and I think that she's gonna be less willing to go there because obviously she didn't see the threat from Lisboa, who's a kickboxer herself. So I am going to pick Luana Santos because She has really good takedowns. Her judo is next level. But I won't be surprised. Like if I'm just gonna say this. So how Santos loses? Santos loses if Croden manages to keep the fight standing. I think that Croden has, like, obviously she has the reach advantage. Not that much. She got the leg reach. She's much higher. She's much taller than Santos. So I don't think it's gonna be a walk in the park for Santos. I think it's gonna be a hard fight. We might see. I'm pretty sure this fight will go to a decision. And the fight going to a decision will probably favor Croden because every time the fight starts in the feet, and Santos, she tends to gas. So even we might see a late finish by Croden. So it's really hard for me to give you a pick. I'm just gonna pick Santos because that's what I've said. Will I bet on her? Probably not. I will wait for the fight to start, and then I'll have way more information to make a live bet on Polymarket. And by the way, guys, I apologize for not live streaming on my Polymarket trades in real time, which I caught Hyun and a few others, but I've mainly didn't do it because where I'm staying right now, which is Thailand, I just can't use both without a VPN. If I use a VPN, UFC don't work, and if I and without the VPN, I can't live bet on Polymarket. So next fight, we got two fighters that I don't know, so I'm just gonna not break it down. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting fight. We got Neil Magny fighting Yaroslav Amosov. For people who don't know who's Yaroslav Amosov, he's coming from the PFL, and his last fight, which I bet on him, unfortunately for me, was against not his last fight, but it was against Jason Jackson. That was the fight I put a bet on him, and he lost. He couldn't get the takedowns, and he couldn't do anything. Actually, he got completely destroyed in that fight, and at the end, he got knocked out. And I actually think that Neil Magny might finish him. Like, will he finish him? It's a good question, but the value is definitely on Neil Magny. He lost to to the best guys in the division, which is Pratis and Michael Morales. Both are known to be very dangerous when it comes to their striking. But I don't know, man. It just feels to me that we might see Magny maybe getting an upset. Will I bet on Magny straight money line? Probably not. If Magny takes out Amosov, he's gonna do the same thing he always does. He's gonna get him in the third round. Probably late. So maybe putting a few dollars on Magny might be something to consider. I don't know, man. I haven't really looked at this fight, like how Amosov looked in his last fight, but Magny looks sensational, right? So it's really going to depend on what kind of game plan Amosov is gonna try and do. If he's just gonna try and wrestle with Magny, and he probably does. I don't see him finishing Magny in terms of submissions. Maybe he's gonna finish him by a knockout. That's most likely his path to victory. But he gassed bad when he fight Jason Jackson. His last fight was 8 months ago. He wasn't that active, and I don't know in what kind of shape he's gonna come. So I have to say it's dog or pass for me. I'm not gonna lay like the odds for Amosov are very chalked. I'm not gonna put that kind of money on Yaroslav Amosov 125 now. I think that it's Magny or pass, and some money came on Magny, so maybe for a good reason. Yeah. So for me, who's gonna win? Probably Amosov, but is the value worth on putting Magny? probably is. It's probably worth the value. I think that he can maybe get a third round finish. Maybe just play that prop if you want. It's very dangerous, but I think that Magny can actually do it. Next fight we got Joanderson Brito and Melsik Bagdasarian. So two we got two strikers, right? Yeah. We got Brito and Bagdasarian. Both of them are very high level strikers. But I have to give the edge to Brito. I think that his wildness, the way he just throw bombs, I think that can be like that could be like a two-edged sword. Why? Because Bagdasarian is a very good striker. He's very clean, and he might take advantage of the mess and the storm Brito is bringing. At the same time, man, the way he got just flat out knocked out by John Silva, and he just laid and prayed when he got knocked out. I can see the same thing happening. I can see Brito putting him to sleep. That's what Brito does. He has nasty power. I know he's coming off 2 losses. You can argue he won against Gomes. And when he fought Pat Sabatini, we know how good Sabatini is, and he couldn't really do anything. Like, he couldn't really get his game going. Bagdasarian is also almost 34 years old, so this is something to take into consideration. His last fight was 9 months ago. Yeah, I'm going to pick Brito. I think that Brito can get the job done. I say he gets the knockout. And yeah, that's my pick. How he loses though is if Bagdasarian manages to get his game going with his striking and just be more clean. Although I see Brito trying to take him down and control him, like that Brito can do it. He has the takedowns to take down a guy like Bagdasarian. If we go and look at Bagdasarian stats, his takedown defense 72%. But which grappler did he fight? Like, I didn't take. He did fight against some wrestlers, which took him down. So and his takedown defense 72%. So I wouldn't count out Bagdasarian. Just saying, I wouldn't count him out. I wouldn't have like a guy like Brito in a parlay or some shit, because you never know. But Brito might just go heavy on the grappling. He might submit him. But yeah, who did he fight? Like, look at how inactive he is. Tucker Lutz, I guess this is like, you would say that Tucker Lutz is a grappler. Last fight 2023. I don't know, man. It's again, it's one of those fights that both can shine, but I just think that Brito is gonna get the job done. Yeah, I'm picking Brito to win. I think he can finish Bagdasarian. Next fight we got Amanda Lemos and Jillian Robertson. This might be a trap, guys. People that are picking Robertson, this might be a trap, and I will explain why. Amanda Lemos has been fighting against wrestlers most of her career, right? Virna, Dern, Whaley's kind of used her wrestling for sure. And Tatiana Suarez, who almost got finished. But Tatiana Suarez wrestling takedown ability is way better than Robertson, and Lemos really stuffed most of the takedowns that, like, a big chunk of the takedowns that Suarez had, right? And this is not prime Suarez, right? But Jillian Robertson, though, she has a good ability to take people down. We saw what she did in her last few winning against Luana Pinheiro, Marina Rodriguez. She has good control. I'll give it to her. Poliana Viana, Michelle Waterson Gomez. That was a bad beating. But Limoges, man, she looked good. Like, I wouldn't say she slows down. Like, she looked really good against Tatiana Suarez. She was barely damaged. Tatiana just controlled her. So I have to pick the dog, right? I think that this is a fight where I think Jillian Robertson can get knocked out. If she can't get the takedowns, Limoges is capable of knocking out anyone in the division, and I'm sure she keeps working on her takedown defense, right? And if that's gonna be the case, I can see Limoges potentially getting a win here, right? That could definitely happen. Let's look at her takedown defense in terms of percentage. So she got 64 takedown defense, but you can see, like, let's look at her fight against Jasmine Lucindo, right? Which Jasmine Lucindo was a big favorite, and she got 3 takedowns on Lucindo. Against Verna, okay, Verna didn't need any more than 1 takedown. But like against Dern, right? Dern had 1 takedown. Limoges had 2. Suarez had 3 takedowns, but that's Suarez, and she couldn't get a takedown in the third round, in my opinion. Her takedowns was I think it was only in the first and the second round, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So 3 out of 12, right? So she stuffed 75% of the takedowns, and those are not like your average Euro takedowns. It's Tatiana Suarez takedowns. So I'm just saying, this kind of reminds me a bit of Torres and Dawson, but obviously Amanda Limoges is not in our prime anymore. Robertson is in our prime, and I think Robertson has a better chin than Dawson. So yeah, it's hard. I'm just gonna say, if this fight stays standing, Limoges can definitely knock out Robertson. And if Robertson gets the takedowns, she can definitely submit Limoges. Although Limoges has a very good takedown, the submission defense. If Robertson win, I'm gonna say she wins decision. If Limoges wins, she can win both decision and knockout. So if you wanna hedge somehow, I'm gonna say Limoges, Robertson decision, Limoges knockout. If you wanna play that, but yeah, hard for me to pick Limoges at this point in her career, but she can get the job done. Probably a pass for me. Kennedy Nzechukwu and Marcus Buchecha. So we saw what happened with Kennedy Nzechukwu when he fought. What's his name? He fought. Let's just make some order here. Yeah, so when Kennedy Nzechukwu fought Walter Walker, he got submitted immediately. That's what Walter Walker does. Buchecha is is a much higher level grappler, I'd say, than Walter Walker, and he lost to Martin Budai. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? And he lost the decision to Gordon Ryan in 2019. He got submitted he's a very high level grappler. I'll just say that. I think that maybe he got some kind of cold feet in his first fight, and as a result, we haven't seen what he's capable of. I will say that he's way more likely to win against Kennedy than he did against Budai. Budai is just a tank. Budai is very heavy, very hard to take down, very hard to control. Kennedy, on the other hand, he's a more dangerous striker, but the guy is not. He's not a heavyweight. He's a light heavyweight. I think that it's gonna be way easier for Marcus to get the takedowns and control over a guy like Kennedy who got submitted already 2 times. So I'm gonna have to take Buchecha. I know he looked like shit against Budai, but this is a different stylistic matchup. I think that he's gonna get the submission here. How much are we getting for him to get the sub? Let's see. So so he's the underdog. Some money, not some, but a lot of money is starting to go on him, to come on him, for a good reason, in my opinion. If we look at how much you're gonna get for a submission here, Buchecha, we don't have the submission yet, but yeah, I'm saying that he gets the submission as the dog. I think the value is definitely on him. So give me Marcus to get the job done. Next fight that's gonna be a banger. We got Makiziel Costa and Morgan Charrier. This is a banger. I'll say that I have to pick the thing is, man, Costa had a close matchup against Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa doesn't have the same power that Charrier does. I think that Charrier can knock out Costa, as he got knocked out before by one of the most dangerous guys in the division, Steve Garcia, which was his last loss, by the way. Can Costa get the takedowns here? I don't know, man. Charrier is really good at the scrambles. He has a strong base. He's a physical specimen. Both of them are in their prime. I'm gonna go with Charrier, man. I think that he got the power advantage. Costa is more of he touches you. He's he's a point fighter unless he gets you to the ground and submits you. But I think that we got the knockout. He got the knockout advantage. The Charrier. Can we see him losing by decision? Of course, that's always a possibility. But I think that he definitely got the puncher's chance, and he can also win a decision. He always improves. He looks better and better every time he gets into the cage. So I'm gonna pick Morgan Charrier. I'm fading Costa every time, and I'm paying for that. But the only time I haven't faded him is when he got Shailian Nordenbeki, but I get the under in that fight. So I'm not really good at reading the Costa fights. I just think that in this one, yeah, I'm gonna pick Charrier, but I know Costa is gonna win, so I'm gonna pick Charrier. I'm gonna stay with my word. If Charrier wins, it should be a knockout. He should knock out Costa if he wants to win, because if this goes 3 rounds, I don't know. Costa, his gas tank didn't look the best in the 3rd round when he fought Erosa. Be sure that if it was Charrier putting those punches on Costa, I don't think we would have seen Costa standing. He almost got knocked out by Erosa. So yeah, I'll pick Charrier. Next fight, we got Cesar Almeida and Cesare Oleksiejczuk. This is the brother of the other Oleksiejczuk. This is gonna be a good fight. Only concern I have here is Cesar Almeida is not in his prime, but look at Alex Pereira, right? Those Brazilians are built differently. He has a really good chin. Oleksiejczuk, like they are both high level strikers. I don't see anyone trying to get takedowns here. I'd say it's most likely going to be a stand up bout, and if it's gonna be a stand up bout, I have to take who is, in my opinion, the better striker. And in my opinion, the better striker is Cesar Almeida. It is what it is. So I'm gonna pick Cesar Almeida. I know that Oleksiejczuk is a dangerous striker. He can knock down Almeida, and Almeida got knocked down in his fight against Kopylov. He got knocked down a few times, and even in his fight against Abdul Al Hassan, he got knocked down, and then he came back up and knocked the other guy, right? So it's gonna be a good scrap. I'll give the advantage. I'll take the dog, Cesar Almeida. I hope he's not washed at this point. I don't think he is. Give me Almeida to win. A co-main event, we got Giga Chikadze and Kevin Vallejos. I have to go with Vallejos here. You know, Giga Chikadze, he's a very high-level striker, but he got holes in his game, especially the wrestling. Like, he can get taken down and controlled, as he did when he lost to David Onama. I see Vallejos maybe losing the first round and then taking over the fight in the second and the third. I see even Vallejos trying to get takedowns. I see him maybe getting that in this fight. He got submission wins. I know he didn't really use his takedowns that much, but I don't see him getting a finish, I would say. Like, at least not an early finish. Maybe late finish, because Giga Chikadze, like, casting is not the best. He always loses the third round just because he doesn't have the casting to continue. I'm gonna pick Kevin Vallejos to get the job done. I might play him live just because I think I'm going to get better odds after the first round, especially if he loses the first round. So, give me Vallejos to get the job done. Probably late finish or decision. And main event, we got Manel Kape and Brandon Royval. This is gonna be a good scrap. Both are very high level strikers. With that being said, I do think that Royval is the value here. He's the underdog, and more money is coming on Manel Kape. Do I want to play Kape for those numbers? Hell no. No. This is Royval for me, Royval or pass. I think that the activity that Royval has, his volume, his relentless pace, I think it's gonna be playing in his favor here. And even on Topology, most people think that he's gonna win by decision, and I agree. I think that he can win decision. He also has the grappling upside. If he takes down Kape, I see him controlling Kape, and this is gonna be a 5-round fight. How he's gonna look in terms of his casting, I don't know. He even lost to Mateusz Nicolau. Like, who loses to Mateusz Nicolau? He got decision by Pantoja. Pantoja, man, that was a bad beat. He got decision by Kaya Sakura. He got submitted by Kyoji, but that was a long time ago. All I'm saying is, like, high level strikers are a problem for him. It is what it is. Can he knock out Royval? He can, but will he? I don't think so. Royval has a good chin. He's a dog. He got knocked out, but that knockout was an injury. It wasn't a real knockout. And he got also the, if he gets the fight, he can take down Kape, and if he takes down Kape, he can control him. Will he try to take him down? I don't think so, because Kape has really good wrestling defense. But if this fight goes 5 rounds, I'm definitely giving the advantage for Royval. And for this numbers, man, I have to take Royval. I know he got beat by Joshua Van, but this was a close fight. I think that he was too aggressive there. He wasn't really using his reach that well. But like, Van is the champion now, although he hasn't really won against Pantoja, but you have to give it to him. The guy is he's elite with his striking, and I think that Kape can do the same. Can be as dangerous as Van, but he doesn't have the volume Van has. He doesn't have the gas tank that Van has. So those are things that will play a big advantage for Royval. So I'm gonna pick Royval. Anyway, guys, this is it. If you enjoy this content, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.